Welcome back to another Movies Dandy. Today's movie is Backrooms.
All right, you feel me?
Yeah.
Follow my lead.
Clark, what is this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
From creator Kane Parsons comes The Backrooms, a chilling horror story about getting lost in a strange dimension filled with endless rooms, unsettling mysteries, and unimaginable dangers. And I feel like with this movie, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But before we begin, this review is brought to you by Te Salud. They just launched their brand new skin and beauty line. They have 3 different flavors plus an unflavored one. And if you use my code Andy10, you get 10% off your whole order. Yes, that's Andy10 for 10% off your whole order. So make sure you put yours in today. Thank you very much, Te Salud. Now back to the review. So let me talk about things that I liked about this film. So first off, Chiwetel Ejiofor did an amazing job in this movie. So his character is just very complicated from the beginning of the film. Just going through a lot of life problems and just not being happy of where he's at in life. And we first get introduced to his character by him talking to a therapist, which that scene alone just gives us a lot of background to his character, which was great because you see the dynamic and how great of an actor he is. And he just does an amazing job just throughout the whole film. Also, this movie does an amazing job at building up anxiety because you really don't know what's around the corner, because that's all the Backrooms is. It's just an endless amount of hallways, rooms, doors, and just different things you've never seen before. And this movie did a great job at illustrating that, because the deeper and deeper you go, the weirder and weirder it gets. And you really don't know if your mind is playing tricks on you and if you did see something move in the distance, or if something is getting closer and closer. And what they did amazingly also with the sound is that you may hear footsteps in the background the whole time, or maybe it's just in your mind. So I feel like they did an amazing job of building up anticipation for something to happen. And Kane Parsons is the youngest director on A24 history at just 20 years old. And this is his first movie, which he did an amazing job directing it. Because I feel like not only did we get some very good scary parts in this movie, we got some good characterization with the main character, because we just got to see this character just go crazy. And also people not believing him of what he saw. So Kane Parsons not only did a good job with the horror, but also building up a very good character, which I feel like is very hard to do. But for his first movie, he did a great job. And also what I heard is that most of the set was actually built, which if that's true, that is insane, because they go through a lot of rooms and a lot of distance in this movie. And there were some pretty weird rooms in there. So shout out to the design team for that, because you have to have a really big imagination for what you saw in this movie. And I was worried for this film because I didn't know what kind of story we could get from a Backrooms movie, because this just came from internet lore, which it's just a place of endless hallways and endless rooms. But I feel like they did a good job with the story. It was nice and simple, but they kept us entertained the whole time, especially with not knowing what was going to happen next. So here's something that I liked but didn't like always. So what I did like is that this movie kept you guessing the whole time throughout the whole film. But it did leave a lot of questions, and it also kind of felt like it was leaving it open to a sequel, which is really cool. But I don't like when a lot of movies leave an open ending for a sequel. But with that, I feel like it just did a good job with leaving us guessing what could happen next and what is actually happening in the Backrooms. Also with the scares, it didn't have a lot of jump scares, which is good. This movie kind of felt more like a psychological thriller. And I don't know if it was trying to send a message of like mental health and things that we go through and things that we create in our own mind. So I feel like the scares were more within ourselves and us creating monsters that we see, which is a really interesting thing this movie did. But yes, I was scared a lot of times because I didn't know what was going to happen turning the corner. And also this movie had a really cool part that I wish that they would have extended or maybe made a whole movie about. It was a part that felt more like a found footage type of movie. And it goes on for like 10 or 15 minutes and I love that scene. I thought it was really well made and scary and fun. So I kind of wish we saw more of that in this movie, because it really did feel like Kane Parsons was going back to his YouTube roots, which was awesome to see on the big screen. And that was some things that I didn't really like. I did feel like this movie slowed down like midway through this movie. I just feel like there was a lot of exploring of the Backrooms, but nothing really happening. Also, I didn't really think too much into it, but I didn't like a certain character design in this movie, which this is a no spoiler review, so I can't really talk about it too much. But in my opinion, I really didn't like what this thing looked like. But I feel like there was a bigger message that they were trying to convey there. So maybe the more I sit on it, the more I'll actually get it. But as of right now, I didn't like that design. And there is a certain thing that happens in the third act that I didn't like where it was going. There's just a certain character decision that I didn't understand of why it happened, which I don't know if people will like it or dislike it like I did. But I can't talk about it because it's a spoiler. So if you know what I'm talking about, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. So now, would I watch Backrooms in the theaters again? As much as I liked it, I didn't love it, but I don't think I would go watch it in the theaters again. But I would watch it at home if somebody else wanted to watch it. Like I said, it's not a bad movie at all, and Kane Parsons did an amazing job on it. And especially the performance by Chiwetel. He just did an amazing job. But now I want to hear what you thought about Backrooms in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie reviews every week.